Welcome, everybody. This is Rich J. Tilley, and welcome to the time stacking chapter in unsubstantiated advice about life from a middle aged man. I want you to listen to this chapter while you're cooking dinner in your kitchen. Or if you can't do that, I want you to invite a friend on a nice walk. Take your phone with you, take your earbuds, and both dial up YouTube or RJTilleybooks&vids with the and sign and find this video. Listen to it, start walking. About 20 minutes, you're done with the chapter, take your earbuds out and go 10 minutes more. Start talking to your friend about the chapter, have a laugh, have great conversation, and then start heading back to your starting point. An hour has probably passed by and you've probably done 4 miles. You're feeling good. Or if you're going to the gym, I want you to dial up YouTube, put those earbuds in, and listen to this chapter and the next one, Women and Men, for 45 minutes. You're on that treadmill, you're burning calories, you're losing weight, you're getting in shape, you're time stacking, and you didn't even know it. Now, if you can't do any of these things because you just happen to be listening to this free audio on YouTube in your vehicle, maybe driving on the highway, here's what I want you to do. I want you to back your speed down to about 15 miles per hour. Make sure your steering wheel is straight. Open your driver's side door. Get out onto the road. And I want you to sprint next to your vehicle. Try to keep up with it. No, I'm just kidding. That is not time stacking. That is just dangerous. Let's go and dive into the chapter, shall we? Time stacking. How would you like to put wasted time back into your pocket? We all get that sickening feeling when we know precious time is wasted because we know that we can never get it back. Time just keeps on ticking and moving forward relentlessly without pause. Have we ever met someone that seems to have all the time in the world and does nothing with it? In contrast, have we ever met a very busy person that seems to have so little time, but always finds a way to get everything done? These special folks know how to use time to their advantage, and we will discuss how they do that in this chapter. I have an emphasis bar here. It says, if you want something done on time, ask a busy person to do it. We are all on equal playing ground. Each of us is blessed with 86,400 seconds in our day. Some people waste the time given to them, and others like to stay ultra productive. One person can have a pocket of time and do nothing with it. Others can fill that same pocket of time with something useful, productive, or valuable. We are going to dissect the notion of being efficient with our time by discussing the concept of time stacking with our available time pockets. A time pocket is simply a segment of time or window of time that it takes to do something. For example, if we want to burn 300 calories walking on a treadmill, I have found it takes around 40 minutes. This would be a 40-minute time pocket. If we are making toast, this would be a smaller 4-minute time pocket. Every activity we choose to do in life has a certain time pocket associated with it. In my experience, I have found it to be true that busy people find ways to get things done. Why? Usually, it is because these busy individuals didn't have a choice. Whatever they were working on had to be done by a certain time, or they were up against some kind of a deadline. Not having a choice is always by far the best motivator. Most busy folks know how to efficiently use their time pockets by doing several things at once. We are all familiar with the term for this concept. Multitasking is a word that has been overused. So I would like to introduce you all to 2 less familiar words to add to your vocabulary. The idea of time stacking. I have an emphasis bar. It states, multitasking is something we do at work. Time stacking is something we do when we are away from work. Time stacking is actually a terminology used in the professional photography world, but for our discussion, a time stack is when we have multiple activities that take up a time pocket all by themselves and stack another activity into the same time pocket. For example, spending time with our kids in our busy lives involves penciling out some time on our schedule, right? Exercising on the treadmill takes a time pocket in order to burn enough calories to get the results that we are after. Watching a popular TV show can take an estimated time pocket of about 30 minutes. If we did all these activities separately, we would need to carve out 40 or so minutes for the treadmill, an hour or so to spend with our children, and 30 minutes to watch a TV show. If we invited our daughter to join us at the gym, and she uses the treadmill right next to us while we are watching a TV show on our monitor, we have successfully stacked multiple activities into one available time pocket. We exercised, watched our show, and spent time with our daughter. Or to simplify, we did three things at once in a leisurely way. We have a very clever picture here illustrating time stacking. The picture actually reminds me of a famous Salvador Dali painting, the one about like melting time clocks in a tree or something. But you'd have to see it in the book to know what I'm talking about. We all know how to multitask at our workplaces, and some of us spend 50 hours a week doing this necessary job skill. We need to use time stacking when we are away from work with selective leisure activities. This manufactured philosophy is about enjoying as much as we can, as efficiently as we can, as often as we can, in the shortest amount of time so we can take advantage of our downtime. Towards the end of the chapter, we will discuss how we get more things done in a day with the available time pockets around us. Once we recognize that the time pockets were there in the first place. See if you all agree with me on these statements. It is important to get away from work sometimes. It is important to spend time with our family, life partners, and kids. It is important to find the time to exercise. It is important to get out and enjoy the sunshine. It is essential to relax and unwind by listening to our favorite music. Agree? Most of the time, we have to sacrifice one of these pleasures for another, or we can only enjoy the majority of these things if we are on some kind of vacation. How would we all like to enjoy these areas of de-stressing as we trudge through our average busy weeks? We need to maximize our time for ourselves, not just to satisfy our boss at work. Please enjoy this personal story where the birth of the time stacking philosophy was conceptualized in my never resting mind. The other day, I was fortunate to have an extra 2 hours on my hands on a beautiful summer's day. Here is what I did with the 2 hour time pocket blessing. I pulled down my expensive road bike from the garage walls and decided to go on a bike ride by myself. After changing into my cushioned bike pants, I strapped my cell phone to the bike handlebars, found my favorite playlist, and pushed the sideways triangle to play the music. As I was riding, I felt like I was in an amazingly good mood. Why was I feeling this way? Well, the answer was that everything had suddenly just come together, all in one swoop. I had just discovered time stacking, and the chapter in this book was born. In this short excursion on my bike, I recognized that I had the opportunity to enjoy the sunshine and get a little color in my cheeks. I feel this makes me look a little healthier, a little better looking. helps my self-esteem. Also, the fact that I wasn't working at this moment brought me great joy. I enjoy my work, but I don't enjoy working all the time. This moment of relaxation gave me great peace and stimulated a thought pattern of self-reflection. I started to think about some of the goals that I was working on and how they were coming along. I was also refreshed by some much needed exercise and could feel the health aspects of the vitamin D flowing through my body from the rays of the sun. I appreciated the music blaring out of my cell phone. I was simply having a wonderful time. Why? Because everything I loved to do and needed to do were all happening at the same time in a time stack. Personal story continued. As I embraced this lovely, breezy summer day, I thought about how my busy life was getting in the way of me spending some time with my children and family. This caused me to call my daughter right there and then from the bike. I invited her to go for a walk the upcoming Sunday with myself and my girlfriend, and my daughter obliged. A few days later, the three of us enjoyed a 4-mile walk in the woods, and each burned over 400 calories. I had a chance to chat with my daughter, and she brought me up to speed on her present day life. My girlfriend was very happy to spend some time with the both of us. The weather was very pleasant, and we enjoyed the fresh air, moderate exercise, and the sunshine. It turned out to be a very productive hour and 15 minutes, and I realized that multiple people had benefited from a multiple layered time stack. In my personal story here, it shows how we can create quality time, accomplishing multiple important things all at once in our busy lives without having to be on a vacation in order to do so.
Let's get back to folks that seem to make excuses about not having enough time to get anything done. On a personal note, I consider myself an accomplished author and a creative writer. I am always intolerant towards people making the excuse, I just don't have time to read. No time to read? Try finding time to write. It takes 10 times the amount of time to write a book than to read a book. Hang out with me for a while. You'll see. I have two knee-jerk reactions to hearing that people do not have enough time to read. Number one, I know that they absolutely do have time to read. We all have 86,400 seconds in one day. If I followed this same person around all week, I would find multiple time pockets all around them that would free up more than enough time to read a few pages of a book. And number two, I know the real reason why people do not read is because they do not associate reading with a pleasurable experience. They simply don't want to do it and would rather be doing something else, like watching TV, playing video games, or talking on the phone. They are usually not very good at reading and find the task painful. Ironically, because they don't read enough and see no value in reading books, articles, and literature. Other folks do understand that readers are leaders and realize that it is important to keep our minds in tip-top shape with stimulated thought and information. Some of these folks know that they should read more, but struggle to find the time to do so. Let's explore the concept of time stacking our time pockets to help people move in the right direction. A question. How long does it take to boil water for pasta or mashed potatoes? About 11 minutes? Is that an accurate statement? Does it sometimes seem like it is taking forever for the water to boil? Why not have a book in the kitchen and use this time to read a few pages of your favorite book? How many pages could we read in 11 minutes? 3? 4? 5? If we do this, I will guarantee that we will be so wrapped up into what we are reading about that the water will begin boiling in no time at all. Our perception is that the water boiled quicker, but it was still the same 11 minutes. We are using time to our advantage and making time go by quicker by being ultra productive. We can read when we are using the bathroom at home. We can read 10 minutes before we go to sleep. We can listen to a book in our vehicles. We can read 5 minutes waiting for kids to come out of school. We can read when we are on the treadmill. We can listen to a book while we are on the exercise bike. The excuse, no time to read, is an invalid excuse. You just don't want to read my book. LOL. Back to the kitchen. What if we were cooking a pork loin or something that takes 25 to 45 minutes to cook? What could we do with this blessed time pocket? We could read 2 or 3 chapters. For the non-readers out there, we could change over the laundry. We could unload the dishwasher and clean out the refrigerator. We could vacuum the living room. We could mow the lawn. We could walk the dog. We could sit at the kitchen table and pay all the bills. Knocking out these small chores will free up time to do other things towards the end of the week. Taking a time pocket and doing something inside it that would free up time for us in the future is the ultimate use of time. I call this exercise in ultra efficiency the time warp time pocket. Cranking out the bills while waiting for something to cook just freed up a 15-minute bill-paying time pocket in the future. Now the task is checked off your list. We won't have to pencil out some future time to pay our bills. It's already done. This is how busy people accomplish so much in a day. Let's switch gears for a moment. Read the headline below, and we will discuss a familiar time-wasting scenario. I have an emphasis bar. If you are on the way to the kitchen, pick up a dirty dish and bring it with you. Aren't you heading that direction anyway? Do any of you reading this have children that like to leave their used dirty dishes and cups all over their bedrooms or in the basement, making a huge mess? And then when these same kids are on their way to the kitchen from their room or basement, they don't pick up and bring the dirty dishes with them. In fact, they return back to their messy area with more dishes to mess up the mess. Usually with another dish filled with popcorn or cereal or potato chips or a sandwich, and another bottled water to match the 10 empty water bottles sprayed all over their room. Sound familiar? We used to have an ongoing argument about this exact scenario in my house constantly. I would be in one of my kids' bedrooms chatting with them, and they would get up with the intent to head for the kitchen. I used to scream as they were leaving, "Wait! Wait! Take those dishes with you and put them in the dishwasher." I yelled in dismay, "Aren't you going that way anyway?" Do you think they ever did this when I wasn't around? Absolutely not. They chose to live in a pigsty instead. They were practicing the school of thought, anti-time pocketing, and they were all experts at it. If I caught one of my children in the kitchen heading back to their bedroom, I used to reach under the kitchen sink for a heavy black garbage bag and throw it in their hand, begging, "Here, take this. Take this upstairs with you. Put all the trash in your bedroom in it and bring this filled garbage bag back down with you the next time you come downstairs. And put the bag into the garbage can in the garage." After me pounding this into their heads, a habit slowly began to form in the household. except for the times that I witnessed all the dirty dishes on top of the counter, right above the dishwasher. I lost my mind a few times, bellowing in anguish, "Why can't you take an extra 30 seconds to put the dirty dishes into the racks inside the dishwasher? It's one less step." I am sure a lot of you can relate to this dramatic tale of despair. A lot of this middle-age lecture is about all the things that I find important, such as maintaining a tidy house, reading interesting stories or positive self-help books, getting chores done around the house, and exercising to stay in shape. After reading this chapter, why don't all of you write down the things that you like to do when you are not working and see if you can clump them all into one activity, like I did while I was riding my bike? Let's all start thinking more efficiently and look for all the time pockets around us in order to knock out smaller chores that seem to pile up into an overwhelming list of things to do. I have found one of the biggest time wasters of our generation is the affection for playing video games. Some of these new games are amazing, with the new high-def graphics, but this leisure activity can easily cost us 3 hours of our day, every day. If you find yourself never having enough time to get things done, and you like to do this fun activity, you might want to retire the game console for a while. It is impossible to time stack anything while you're in deep concentration, afraid to take your eyes off the screen. Think of what we could do with a freed up 3-hour time pocket. Now that's a lot of time. I have an emphasis bar here. It says we have 86,400 seconds in our day. Use them wisely. If you like to binge watch shows on the latest television streaming service, that's okay. Hey, it's unwinding, isn't it? Why don't you fold a little laundry while you're watching? Or get out the dumbbells and sweat a little during the back-to-back shows? If you do spend a few hours at the gym a couple of days a week, call your grandparents, kids, or close friends from the treadmill. Yes, you will be the one talking on the phone at the gym, but at least you will be the one taking advantage of time pockets. Listen to a book on the way home from work. Listen to music while you're mowing the lawn. Conduct a conference call on your cell phone from the walking path. The sun is going to rise and set every day, whether we do something with our day or not. And we must take advantage of time pockets by mastering the art of time stacking. Unsubstantiated advice from a middle-aged man about time stacking. Squeeze every minute of every hour out of our days. Stack the activities that we love to do on top of one another in order to practice the concept of time stacking. Advise and coach others to do the same thing and call your loved ones often. Am I right about this, or am I just half right? This concludes the time stacking chapter in Unsubstantiated Advice About Life from a Middle-Aged Man. If you took me up on that walk, 10 minutes more. Keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, my book is available on Amazon, Amazon Kindle, Apple Books, BarnesandNoble.com, and you can find all this information on my website of mybooksandvids.com. We have one more chapter to go, Women and Men. It began with a W, so it was last in the book. However, I do think it could be the best chapter. It's definitely one of my favorites. Please search for it on YouTube. I'll see you over there. I'll be the guy behind the mic. For now, this is Rich J. Tilley. Thanks for listening, everybody.